Rob, just talk us through what actually has been agreed to on Capitol Hill.
Well, essentially what's being agreed to is the spending for this financial year up until September 30th, $330 billion worth of spending, which includes within it the issue of that stretch of wall that President Trump has been talking about. 55 miles or approximately 80 kilometres of wall. He'd been asking for $5.7 billion to fund it. Congress has agreed to give him considerably less than that, $1.4 billion, which is actually less than the compromise they offered him at the end of last year. Quite clearly, Donald Trump is not happy with that and wants to see what he can do. He's apparently going to sign on at some point today, although it's not 100% certain that he will do so. But at the same time, it's expected that he will hit back by suggesting he's going to invoke national emergency and use other funds that have already been approved by Congress to get his wall.
Why has President Trump agreed to sign this?
Well, you know, I think the essential reason is that during the shutdown in December and January, his popularity and the popularity of the Republican Party slipped considerably. And he realized that he was on a loser. And it made very little sense for him to get involved in another drawn-out conflict with the Democrats now that they control the House of Representatives, knowing that the popularity of the mood nationwide was going down all the time, that the popularity of his own presidency and of the Republicans was also suffering. Therefore, he decided not to pick that particular fight, but to try to circumvent it and to come up with the idea, which he'd been suggesting for some time that he could do if he wanted to, is invoke a national emergency. It's happened before, but usually it's for a foreign policy crisis.
So where does this leave his grand plans in actually to construct this wall? I mean, will we see it actually the beginning of construction in the next few weeks, months or so on, or is this going to be kicked down?
I think it's unlikely. In theory, it could be if it didn't face challenges, if his plans for a national emergency weren't to face challenges. But it's quite clear that any plans that he has got are going to be challenged, and not just from the Democrats either, although Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House of Representatives, has already indicated that it's likely that she'll take it to court if he goes ahead. But there are several leading Republicans as well in the Senate who are also unhappy about it. And if the House votes against it, and there's a sufficient majority in the Senate as well against it, he could be in difficulties. He could veto, of course, and it would be very difficult for him, for the Congress ultimately to stop him if he vetoes it. But we're talking about time here. This could drag on for a long time. And remember, he's only got 2 years of his presidency to go. So this looks extremely difficult for him, but it's not to say that he can't do it.
Robert Parsons, thank you for that.